Welcome back to Cybersecurity Unmasked, the IT Biz Tech podcast. We're here to break down tech and help your business thrive. I'm your host, and today, we're diving deep into something we see, honestly, all the time, especially in industrial settings. I'm talking about that super frustrating, slow, unreliable warehouse Wi-Fi. You know the type, right? Where your workers are doing that awkward Wi-Fi shuffle, just trying to get a barcode scanner to connect.
Exactly. That shuffle is almost symbolic.
We're going to pull some key insights from a success story we featured not long ago on the IT Biz Tech blog. The article was called Fixing Warehouse Wi-Fi Woes with a Smarter, Faster Network. So our mission today, unpack why warehouse Wi-Fi fails so often, look at the real costs involved, not just the tech costs, and explore how a smart upgrade, specifically using Wi-Fi 7, can seriously transform operations and, future-proof things.
Absolutely. And like we said in that blog post, it's not just a small inconvenience anymore. In, today's world, maybe even looking to 2025, your warehouse Wi-Fi, it's basically the nervous system for your whole operation. When that system hiccups or fails, everything grinds to a halt. Inventory, shipping, automation, it all suffers. So we're going to share a bit about how we helped one client flip that script, turning their Wi-Fi nightmare into, frankly, a real success.
Okay, let's paint the picture then. This client we worked with, they're growing fast. You got this pretty big 60,000 square foot warehouse, and their day-to-day was just constant struggle. Devices dropping off the network all the time, scanners syncing incredibly slowly. And naturally, the teams were getting really frustrated. The main complaint we kept hearing was just, our Wi-Fi is slow, it's holding us back. Simple as that.
Right. And when our team went in to do the initial look, the core problem jumped out almost immediately. They were trying to run this huge, complex industrial site using consumer-grade Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. Like what specifically?
Specifically, they had Google Nest Wi-Fi points scattered around, which, is fine for your house, maybe a small office. But for a 60,000 square foot warehouse full of metal and machinery, it's completely unsuitable. Just not designed for that kind of scale or those kinds of obstacles.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So beyond just the size, what are those specific challenges in a warehouse that make Wi-Fi so uniquely difficult?
Oh, it's a real mix, what we sometimes call a perfect storm of issues. First off, you've got the physical space itself. Warehouses are like obstacle courses for radio waves.
Okay.
You have these towering metal racks, big pieces of machinery, thick concrete walls. These things don't just block signals, they reflect them, bounce them around like pinballs. That creates all sorts of dead zones and unpredictable coverage.
Right, interference everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's the sheer number of devices. We call it device density overload. It's not just a few laptops. Think hundreds of devices potentially active at once. Barcode scanners, tablets, IoT sensors sending data constantly, maybe even automated systems. They're all fighting for the same bandwidth. It's like jamming way too much traffic onto a tiny road. Things slow down, connections drop.
And the environment itself.
Yeah, that's another big one. Warehouses often have, big temperature swings, sometimes high humidity, lots of dust. That stuff can actually degrade the performance of standard IT gear over time. It can even shorten its lifespan. So the equipment itself needs to be tough, industrial grade.
Okay, so you've got physical barriers, tons of devices, harsh conditions. When all that comes together, how does that weak Wi-Fi actually hit the business where it hurts? Like on the operational side, the bottom line.
That's the crucial connection to make. Because poor Wi-Fi isn't just an IT headache, it spirals into a real business problem. First, your operational efficiency takes a nosedive. Think about your warehouse management system, your WMS.
Right, the core system.
If it can't get real-time updates because scanners keep dropping offline, then your real-time tracking becomes, real-time guessing. Workers can't reliably scan things in, update inventory counts, get accurate shipping info. The WMS becomes almost useless at that point.
So productivity just tanks.
Completely. And it causes a communication breakdown, too. Teams struggle to connect across the facility using maybe VoIP phones or messaging apps if the signal is weak. And don't forget safety risks. In some automated environments, if sensors on machinery or vehicles lose connection, that can be genuinely dangerous.
Wow, okay. Hadn't fully considered that safety angle.
It's definitely a factor in more automated setups, and all this adds up to a significant hidden revenue impact. Every dropped connection, every minute wasted waiting for a sync, that's lost productivity. That means delayed shipments, potential errors in orders, which leads to frustrated customers. And in today's world, with expectations for same-day delivery, reliability is everything. Poor Wi-Fi can directly cost you business and customer loyalty.
Okay, that paints a really clear and frankly, pretty stark picture. So going back to that 60,000 tech key off-to warehouse, after our IT BizTech team audited it, saw all these issues firsthand, what was the actual solution we put in place?
Right. So our plan, the one we implemented, had two main pillars: foundational upgrades. Upgrade number one was getting them onto business-grade fiber internet. We swapped out their basic connection for fiber.
Much faster, lower latency.
Exactly. Significantly more bandwidth, much more responsive. But critically, we didn't just put in one fiber line. We added a second one for failover.
Redundancy. Smart.
Absolutely essential in a warehouse. You cannot afford downtime. So two independent internet lines ensure they stay online even if one provider has an issue. Zero operational downtime from the internet side.
Okay, that covers getting data in and out. What about inside the warehouse?
That was upgrade number two, and this was the real game changer internally. We deployed a full Ubiquiti Wi-Fi 7 solution using their Unify line of products.
Wi-Fi 7. Okay, we hear the term a lot now. For people maybe familiar with Wi-Fi 5 or 6, what's the standout feature of Wi-Fi 7 that really makes it suited for a tough place like a warehouse?
Yeah, it's a great question. What's really interesting about Wi-Fi 7, the technical name is IEEE 802.111BB, is why it's such a leap forward for these kinds of environments. It's the latest standard, and it was designed from the ground up for things like ultra-low latency, multi-gigabit speeds, yes, but also, crucially, handling hundreds of devices simultaneously without choking.
Okay.
If Wi-Fi 6 was mainly about getting faster speeds on individual devices, Wi-Fi 7 is more about making the whole network drastically more efficient, more reliable, especially under load. Think moving from a fast single lane to a multi-lane superhighway.
So break that down. What are the key tech bits?
Sure. So first you go blazing fast speeds, theoretically up to 46 gigabits per second,
Yeah.
but it's how it achieves that. Wider channels, more efficient data encoding. Then there's ultra-low latency. This is huge for warehouses. Things like VoIP calls, real-time inventory scans, talking to the cloud, robotics. They need that near instantaneous response. Wi-Fi 7 delivers that.
And you mentioned handling lots of devices.
Yes, and that's largely down to something called multi-link operation, or MLO. This is probably the biggest deal for dense environments.
MLO. Okay, what's that?
Think of it like allowing a device to talk on multiple radio bands, 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and the newer 6 gigahertz band all at the same time.
Like bonding channels together.
Sort of, yeah. It can aggregate the bandwidth across bands or switch seamlessly if one band gets congested. It gives you way more capacity, like up to 5 times what Wi-Fi 6 offered, and much more resilience. Multiple highways instead of just one.
That sounds ideal for all those scanners and sensors competing.
Exactly. And finally, it has much more advanced interference handling. It's just better designed to cut through the noise you get from all the metal and machinery in a warehouse.
Okay, that MLO feature sounds particularly impactful. So you deployed this Ubiquiti Wi-Fi 7 system. What was the actual result for the client? What did they feel day to day?
Oh, the difference was, night and day for the team on the floor. They went from constant dead zones and signal hunting to having consistent, full-speed Wi-Fi coverage across the entire 60,000 square feet. No more Wi-Fi shuffle.
Right.
And crucially, zero downtime on the network side, thanks to those dual internet lines and the reliability of the new gear. Operations just keep running.
What about performance? Syncing, calls.
Dramatically faster data syncs for their scanners, video calls between supervisors or support staff, accessing their cloud WMS instantaneous. And from our side supporting them, the number of connectivity-related help desk tickets just plummeted. Freed up their internal IT folks, too.
That's a huge win.
Yeah. And maybe the most important thing, they're now future-ready. If they want to add more automation, more IoT sensors, expand the warehouse, their network backbone can handle it. It's not going to be the bottleneck anymore.
That kind of success story, it doesn't just, happen randomly by plugging in new boxes. It comes from a methodical approach, right? The process our IT BizTech team uses.
Absolutely. It's a structured process designed specifically to avoid those common pitfalls, like just throwing consumer gear at the problem. Step one is always what we call the reality check. That's the comprehensive site survey.
Not just walking around with a phone checking bars.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
We use professional spectrum analyzers and survey tools. We meticulously map existing signal strengths, pinpoint interference sources, machinery, microwaves, neighboring networks, even building materials. We analyze how they use the network, where the high traffic areas are. We look at the environmental factors, dust, temperature, vibration. It's about understanding their specific space and needs.
To get the lay of the land properly.
Exactly. Then step two is strategic access point placement. Based on that survey data and their workflows, we figure out the optimal locations for each access point, or AP. It's not just about coverage, it's about managing overlap for seamless roaming, ensuring clear line of sight where possible, getting the mounting height right. It's part science, part art.
Right. Placement is key.
Critical. Step 3 is choosing the right hardware for the job. Like we said, consumer stuff won't cut it. We select industrial-grade APs. That means rugged enclosures built for harsher environments, often with better antennas designed for large, open spaces or penetrating obstacles, advanced features to mitigate interference, sometimes even options for redundant power.
Built tough for the environment.
Precisely. And finally, step 4 is designing the network architecture that scales. We don't just build for today. We design the underlying network, the switching, the cabling, the configuration, so it can grow with their business. So when they add those robots or expand next year, the network is ready, not overloaded.
So beyond just installing the hardware correctly, what are some of the, let's say, configuration best practices our team puts in place to really optimize performance and keep things reliable long term?
Good question. There are several key things we always implement. One is network segmentation.
Okay, what does that involve?
It's basically creating separate virtual lanes, or VLANs, on the network for different types of traffic. So your critical barcode scanners and WMS traffic might be in one lane. General worker devices like tablets for email in another, maybe a separate one for guest access, another for IoT sensors. This stops less critical traffic, like someone streaming video on their break, from interfering with your mission-critical operations, keeps things flowing smoothly.
Like dedicated highway lanes.
Exactly. Then we apply quality of service, or QoS. With QoS, we tell the network which traffic is most important. So data from those critical scanners or safety systems gets priority, gets to jump the queue, essentially.
A VIP lane for the important stuff.
You got it. Ensures the vital data always gets through, even when the network is busy. And finally, revisiting redundancy and failover planning. We talked about the dual internet lines, but redundancy can apply internally to maybe redundant switches or ensuring APs have overlapping coverage, so if one fails, devices can connect to another. It's all about minimizing single points of failure.
Right, building in that resilience. This all leads to a bigger question for businesses listening. How does investing in this kind of robust Wi-Fi 7 network actually future-proof them? What does that really mean in practice?
That's a really important point. It's not just about fixing today's problems, it's about enabling tomorrow's opportunities. Think about Industry 4.0 integration. More automation, smarter warehouses, we're talking automated storage systems, stacker cranes, mobile robots, AGVs.
That's really advanced stuff.
Yeah, and all that automation relies heavily on constant ultra-low latency wireless communication. Wi-Fi 7 was built with these kinds of demands in mind. Your network needs to be ready for that.
And what about IoT?
Huge growth there, too. IoT and smart sensors. Warehouses are getting covered in sensors, monitoring everything from temperature to inventory levels to machine health. All these devices constantly transmitting data. Wi-Fi 7's ability to handle density and provide consistent performance is crucial for industrial IoT to actually work reliably.
So it supports the data flood from sensors.
Exactly. And looking even further out, things like augmented reality and advanced applications. Imagine workers using AR glasses for guided picking, getting visual instructions overlaid on their view, or using VR for immersive training, or XR for remote expert assistance.
Okay, that's next level.
It is, but it's coming. And those applications demand huge bandwidth and super low latency. A Wi-Fi 7 network provides the foundation to actually deploy those kinds of tools effectively in a demanding warehouse space. Your network becomes an enabler, not a barrier.
Okay, now on the flip side, our IT biz tech team sees businesses make mistakes with this all the time. What are the absolute must-avoid traps listeners should be aware of when thinking about their warehouse Wi-Fi?
Oh, there are a few classic ones we see repeatedly. Number one, absolutely, is the it worked at home fallacy. Believing that because a consumer mesh system like Google Nest or Aero works well in your house, it'll be fine in a 50,000 square foot industrial facility full of metal. It just won't. It's the wrong tool for the job, full stop.
We saw that with the client, right?
Exactly. Second big mistake, ignoring environmental factors. Failing to account for the temperature extremes, the dust, the vibration, the electromagnetic interference from heavy machinery. These things will kill consumer-grade gear and severely impact performance, even on robust gear, if not planned for. That site survey is critical.
So don't underestimate the environment.
Never. Third, underestimating growth. Designing the network only for the number of devices and bandwidth you need today. Warehouses are adopting more tech, more automation all the time. If you don't build in capacity for growth, your brand new network could be overwhelmed in just a year or two. You need to think 3 to 5 years ahead.
Still bigger than you need right now.
Plan for growth, absolutely. And finally, skipping professional installation and design, especially in a complex warehouse environment. Trying to DIY a large-scale Wi-Fi deployment often leads to poor coverage, performance issues, endless troubleshooting, and ultimately costs more in fixes and lost productivity than getting it done right the first time by experts who understand RF behavior in these spaces.
Yeah, the do-over is always more expensive. Okay, so we've covered the problem, the tech, the solution, the pitfalls. Let's talk results. What does success actually look like? How can a business measure the ROI on investing in a professional warehouse Wi-Fi upgrade?
Great question. We track this with clients using specific KPIs, key performance indicators. We look at a few areas. First, basic coverage metrics. Are there still dead zones? No. Is signal strength consistent everywhere workers need it? Yes. Can devices roam seamlessly between APs without dropping connection? Yes. That's table stakes.
Just making sure it works everywhere.
Right. Then performance indicators. We measure network uptime, aiming for 99.9% plus. We look at actual connection speeds achieved during peak hours. We track device success rates, are devices connecting quickly and staying connected.
The hard numbers.
Exactly. But then, crucially, we tie it to business impact. This is the ROI part. We look for a measurable decrease in IT support tickets related to Wi-Fi problems. That's a direct cost saving. We look for improvements in inventory accuracy rates because scanners are working reliably now. We measure order processing and fulfillment times. Are they faster? And we look at overall worker productivity. Are teams getting more done because they aren't fighting the network?
Connecting the tech to the actual business outcomes.
That's the whole point. Investing in proper warehouse Wi-Fi isn't just buying tech, it's a strategic decision. It pays back through better efficiency, less downtime, happier workers, happier customers, and being ready for the future. Our clients saw all of that: consistent speed, zero downtime, faster syncs, fewer complaints. That's a transformation.
So wrapping this up, what's the key takeaway for businesses listening today? If you're running a warehouse or any large industrial space, that Wi-Fi network, it's not just nice to have, is it? In today's world, with the supply chain pressures we all face, reliable connectivity is absolutely fundamental. Letting poor Wi-Fi be the weak link, it just doesn't make sense anymore. Your teams, your customers, your bottom line, they all deserve better than dealing with constant connectivity issues and that frustrating Wi-Fi shuffle. And thinking about Wi-Fi 7, it's not just about fixing today's glitches. It's about building a foundation that positions your operation for whatever comes next. More automation, smarter systems, new ways of working. It's about future-proofing.
Couldn't agree more. And that's what we do here at IT BizTech. We specialize in designing and implementing these kinds of robust network solutions for challenging environments like warehouses. So if your business is struggling with slow, unreliable Wi-Fi, especially over a large area, chances are very high you're using technology that just wasn't designed for your needs. We really encourage you to think ahead, too. What automation, what IoT systems, what new tech might you want to bring in over the next, say, 3 to 5 years? Take an honest look. Is your current network ready for that future, or is it going to hold you back?
That's a great point to end on. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive on warehouse Wi-Fi. A huge thank you for tuning in to Cybersecurity Unmasked. Our goal is always to make technology empower your business, not hinder it. Remember to check out our blog at itbiztech.com. You'll find more insights there, including that article we mentioned, Fixing Warehouse Wi-Fi Woes. We'll be back soon with more critical tech insights to help your growing business succeed. Thanks for listening.